the Los Angeles Chargers outlasting the Philadelphia Eagles in overtime on Monday Night Football. And we'll give you a little something on both teams. We're going to start with the team that lost. The Eagles fall to 8-5. They're still a game and a half up on the Dallas Cowboys in the NFC East. That seems to be their easiest path to the playoffs, just simply winning their division. I think there's still a good chance they do that, and it would be idiotic for me to sit here and say a team that's been to 2 Super Bowls in the last 3 years would not be dangerous in a playoff setting. Of course they would be. This isn't the same team they had last year, though. And it's very clear in what's happening on the offensive side of the ball. They may be better defensively than they were a year ago, but the offense isn't close to where they were. Last year, they were able to rely on what they had up front, and it just does not look the same as it did last year. Mekhi Becton's gone. Maybe that's a little bit of a factor. I think a bigger factor on Monday night specifically was not having Lane Johnson, who is now injured. Regardless of where the leak is and where you think the problem is, the makeup of the offense isn't the same. They turned the ball over a bunch last night. Jalen Hurts had 4 interceptions and a lost fumble. The lost fumble, of course, came after one of the interceptions and on one of the wilder plays that we've seen over the last couple of months in all of the NFL, where he threw the pick, they force a fumble, he recovers the fumble, then they fumble again, they lose the fumble, the Chargers have the ball back, and then, of course, Jalen Hurts throws the interception in overtime, which was tipped by Cam Hart. Great individual play by Cam Hart there. And Tony Jefferson winds up with the ball to secure the win for the Chargers. So they turn the ball over. Then on top of that, on paper, the running game looked okay, but there was a 52-yard touchdown run that was in there. If you take the 52-yard touchdown run from Saquon Barkley out of the equation, they were able to muster just 82 yards on 24 carries. And so this is a team right now that I think has a little bit of an identity crisis on offense. When things get hard, what can they lean on? They are in a bunch of long yardage situations. Yesterday, where they had to rely on Jalen Hurts, a big 3rd and 16 in overtime that he was able to convert. So there was some good in those sorts of situations, but I'm not sure that they have the same sort of identity that they had a year ago on offense. You can point to whatever you want to point to when it comes to that. Could be the offensive line, could be the loss of the offensive coordinator, Kellen Moore. Wherever you look, that the production just isn't the same. And again, the defense may be better than it was a year ago. The defense wasn't the problem on Monday night. They held Justin Herbert, who is hurt, to a passer rating of under 60 yards. The Chargers were able to run the ball some, but I mean, it wasn't like that was completely, the run defense was completely was some sort of massive problem. So you look at where they are, they've got to lean even more into their defense now. And when I look at where they are as a team, this is about, and going to be about, I think, for the Eagles, changing the formula a little bit, trying to shorten games, being able to run the ball more consistently, staying out of long yardage on offense because of the offensive line issue. And I say issue with air quotes around it, but the offensive line issue that you have, the formula is going to have to change. And I think we've seen Nick Sirianni's ability to change that formula over the course of the year. We've seen him lean into the defense. They're going to have to do it even more so over the next month to find a way to make some noise in the playoffs. As for the Chargers, I got to give them all the credit in the world. This was Omarion Hampton's first game back. They do not have their starting 2 tackles and have not for a while. Joe Alt and Rashawn Slater. Slater's missed the entire year. Alt's missed the majority of the year. This was a team that I think, we talk about identity in certain spots, felt like it had lost its identity, like it didn't have anything to lean on the offensive side of the ball. And they were just so resourceful. They used Herbert as a runner towards the end of the game, which really seemed to work. And then defensively, Jesse Minter continues to do an outstanding job. And the fact that they're 9-4, I'm not sure we're giving them enough credit for everything that they fought through this year, how they've been able to do it. Justin Herbert playing with a broken left hand is just a microcosm of everything else the Chargers have dealt with. So ton of respect to the Chargers and Jim Harbaugh's program for winning the way that they've been able to win with all the adversity that they've had to face, without question. A great coaching job by Jim Harbaugh, and a great job by the players to be resourceful when they lose major pieces like Alt, like Slater. That is not a small deal. I said earlier in the year, that would be almost like the Giants back in the day if they had lost Justin Tuck, Osi Umenyiora, and Michael Strahan all at once, right? Like, you strip a team of its identity when you have a position group that's that strong and becomes that depleted. And the Chargers have found a way to do it. So credit to them.